Welcome to this explainer. It's kind of crazy, but did you know that most people spend a massive 80% of their day on tasks that are literally going to be forgotten by next week? All the while, they're completely ignoring the one skill that actually transforms careers. Well, today, we're going to change that. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you here. Let's just dive right into this, because what we're exploring today has the potential to completely alter the trajectory of your career. We are talking about a specific leadership skill that, frankly, most people totally misunderstand. And the truth is, the leaders who grow the fastest, the ones making the absolute biggest impact, they aren't always the smartest or the loudest people in the room. They just think differently. So today, drawing directly from the AmaningCareerLift leadership pathway, we're going to unlock how you can turn your aspirations into real achievements. Let's get started. So who really gets to think strategically? I want you to answer that honestly in your head right now. When you hear the word strategy, what image pops up? For a lot of us, it's a fancy boardroom, right? It's someone with a C-suite title, some executive or a senior decision maker. You might even be sitting there thinking, well, I'm just not senior enough for that yet. My job is to execute the plan, not make it. And look, if you've ever felt overlooked or if you've wrestled with imposter syndrome and leadership spaces, it is so incredibly easy to believe that strategic thinking is this exclusive VIP club that you just haven't been invited to yet. But there is a massive, dangerous misconception we've got to unlearn right away. Most people think strategy is only for executives, but that exact mindset is what's holding them back. If you take away only one single thing from today's explainer, let it be this. If you are sitting around waiting for a promotion or a shiny new title, or for someone to tap you on the shoulder and say, okay, now you're allowed to be strategic, you are leaving so much of your potential on the table. Believing that you're just a doer until someone magically crowns you a thinker is exactly what keeps incredibly talented people, especially overlooked talent and first-generation professionals, stuck in the exact same place. All right, let's jump into Section 1, Overcoming Survival Mode and Moving Beyond Task Thinking. We all know task thinking. It's what the AmaningCareerLift pathway calls survival mode. It's the rushing. It's the reactive doing. It's opening your laptop in the morning, seeing 80, or let's be real, 800 emails, and frantically playing whack-a-mole just to clear the deck so you can survive the day. You're super busy, yeah, but are you actually moving forward? Now, contrast that with strategic thinking. This isn't about doing more tasks. It's about intentional leadership. It's that profound ability to just pause, look up from the immediate panic, and focus on creating genuine impact. It's a total shift from simply working hard to working with a really clear long-term purpose. And here is why that shift matters so deeply. Moving from task thinking to strategic thinking sparks this incredible internal transformation. You move directly from self-doubt to real confidence. You stop constantly seeking external validation for every little task because you intimately understand the broader value you're bringing to the table. And ultimately, this is exactly how you move from aspiration to achievement. True career progression isn't just about someone handing you a new contract. It is rooted deeply in an internal mindset shift. When you start operating with strategic confidence, the achievements naturally follow, because you are fundamentally showing up differently. Moving on to Section 2, Redefining Strategy. No jargon, just impact. Let's forget all the complicated corporate buzzwords for a second. Let's ditch the textbook definitions that sound like they belong in some dry, compliant seminar. At its core, strategic thinking is simply thinking beyond today and connecting your daily actions to long-term goals. That's literally it. It's seeing the bigger picture. When you sit down at your desk, a strategic thinker asks, why am I doing this? Where does this fit into the organizational vision or my team's priorities? It's about pulling yourself out of the weeds just long enough to make absolutely sure that the ladder you're climbing so quickly is actually leaning against the right wall. It all comes down to this really simple truth. Strategic leaders don't just complete tasks, they understand impact. Think about your own day-to-day. Anyone at absolutely any level in an organization can ensure their work connects to a wider vision. For instance, if you're building a spreadsheet, you aren't just inputting data. You are creating visibility so your team can make a crucial financial decision next quarter. Now, that is understanding impact. When you frame your work this way, you instantly elevate your value and your own sense of professional worth. That brings us to Section 3, Building Your Leadership Identity. Leadership is not a title. I want you to really absorb this next part. You do not need permission to think strategically. For so many of us, especially if you're an ethnic minority professional, a career changer, or someone who historically hasn't seen themselves represented in executive spaces, there's this huge tendency to wait for a formal invitation to lead. Well, I am telling you right now, as your mentor in this explainer, you've got to claim your space. Stop waiting for the promotion to start acting like a leader. Start making those strategic suggestions today. Start asking the deeper questions in your meetings this afternoon. Now, as you're building this identity, it's absolutely vital to recognize what true leadership actually looks like in practice. It's highly inclusive. It's about valuing diverse perspectives and really listening actively. And by that, I mean not just waiting for your turn to speak, but genuinely absorbing the nuances of your colleagues' ideas. By bringing people along and empowering others, you multiply your own strategic impact. Because strategic thinking isn't about being some lone genius locked in a room. It's about collaboration. It's about creating an environment where the people around you feel heard, empowered, and totally capable of their own strategic thought. The absolute heart of the matter is this: leadership begins the moment you start thinking beyond yourself. That is an incredibly powerful emotional anchor. When you make that transition from survival mode to intentional leadership, your focus naturally shifts from how do I get through my day to how do we achieve our collective goals. You start lifting others up. You become a real pillar of resilience and emotional intelligence for your team, regardless of where your name happens to sit on the organizational chart. Let's transition into Section 4, the practical playbook. We're going to look at the everyday habits of strategic leaders. Okay, let's get practical because this playbook is where the magic actually happens. Step 1, pause before making decisions. When an urgent request comes in, don't just react on autopilot. Take a breath and ask yourself what the long-term consequences of your response might be. Step 2, and this is a big one, create thinking time instead of always rushing. This is a total game changer. Actually block out 15 minutes on your calendar just to think, reflect, and plan. It's going to feel uncomfortable at first for sure, but it is essential to step off that hamster wheel. Step 3, ask bigger picture questions. Instead of just asking, hey, when is this due? Try asking, what problem are we ultimately trying to solve here? And is this actually the best way to do it? And finally, step 4, connect your daily work to wider goals. Constantly remind yourself and your colleagues why your specific projects matter in the grand scheme of things. These are simple, immediate actions you can take today to shift from being a busy task doer to a highly impactful strategic thinker. Which leads us to our final part, Section 5, Aspiration into Achievement. Let's talk about your next steps. I want to encourage you to take a moment of real self-awareness right now. Just ask yourself 3 key questions. Number 1, where am I stuck in task mode? Try to identify the specific areas where you're just checking boxes without really thinking. Number 2, how can I connect my work to a larger goal today? Find that crucial thread between your laptop and the entire organization's vision. And number 3, which is perhaps the most important one of all, what would I do if I didn't need permission to lead? If you truly believed in your own leadership confidence right this second, what would you change about how you show up tomorrow morning? So I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. How will you turn your aspirations into achievements today? You've got the tools. You understand now that strategic thinking is a mindset. It's not a job title. You do not need permission. You are incredibly capable. You absolutely belong in these spaces, and your perspective is needed. So go out there, hit pause, think bigger, and start leading from exactly where you are right now. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep thinking big, and I'll see you next time.
The Aspire Leadership Program is designed to help aspiring leaders build confidence, discover purpose, grow in influence, and create meaningful impact in their communities and careers. Leadership is not about position, it's about purpose, growth, courage, and impact. You have potential inside you. Your voice matters. Great leaders are built, not born. Confidence grows through action. Your journey matters. Step into your purpose. Lead with courage. Inspire change. Empower others as you rise. Growth begins when you believe in yourself. Your story can change lives. Leadership starts with one decision. Rise above fear and self-doubt. The world needs your leadership. Keep growing. Keep learning. Keep leading. You have the potential. We have the pathway. Let's rise together. Visit AmaningCareerLift.org for more information on the Community Progression Hub.